I'm Brooke White. I'm 24 years old. I live in Van Nuys, California, and I'm originally from Mesa, Arizona. And I actually auditioned in Philadelphia. I was very overwhelmed to find out I was in the top 24. It was a group of very, very talented people. It was nobody felt safe, I think, in that room when we were waiting. So it was just you weren't sure who was going to stay and who was going to go, and it was emotional. You meet people and make friends, and it's hard to see people go, and exciting to be a part of the final 24. It was totally overwhelming and exciting and very, very awesome. I started singing when I was about 15 years old. I actually auditioned for our high school musical, which was Meet Me in St. Louis, hoping for a chorus part maybe. I never really sang before and actually was fairly frightened of, being on stage or performing. And I actually ended up getting the lead role, and so that kind of was the beginning, and just didn't really stop after that. So about 15 or 16, I think. I love anything artsy. I love to draw. That's where my first, I think, first thing that I thought that I was good at was drawing. And then I started getting into hair when I was 11 years old. My mom went to the hospital to have my little brother, and I cut my little sister's hair like Dorothy Hamill. It was a really terrible haircut. But I actually never stopped, so I got into doing hair and interior decorating, anything that's kind of right-brained. If I don't become the next American Idol, I definitely want to be a mom. I think that's the next thing on my list to do. I'm a nanny right now, and I really enjoy children and grew up with brothers and sisters, or brothers and sister, and I could definitely see myself having kids and really enjoying it. So that, and I'll keep doing music, writing and playing because I love it. It's what I love to do. My favorite performer would probably be a toss-up. I love everything. I love so many artists, but probably it would be between James Taylor and Carole King. They're probably two of my very most favorites. They're just amazing and, have lent a lot of inspiration to me musically for sure. I guess I'm blonde like Carrie Underwood, but I don't sing like her. I don't know who I would be most like, as far as American Idol contestants go. I think part of the reason I've always been hesitant to try out is because I've never really been able to, I haven't really ever seen somebody that's, not that I'm that unique or anything, because I don't think that, but I have always felt like I was more of a singer-songwriter than a vocalist. And, I don't have the biggest vocal range, but I make the most of it. So probably sort of more like Taylor Hicks in that sense, but not really. Does that make sense? My family has been such a huge part for me in getting this far musically. I grew up in a family where we just adore music. We didn't really watch a lot of TV. We listened to music. We had a record player that we would listen to a lot of records. We had an old jukebox in our backyard. It was really old. We used to listen to that and jump on the trampoline. And I think my parents just exposed me to so many different kinds of music. Primarily like 70s, like singer-songwriter and pop and just amazing songs, That was the stuff I grew up on. And just they never discouraged me from pursuing it and trying it. My dad, since I was young, I think would always tell me that he thought I had a nice voice, but not until I was a teenager did I start to sing. But they've never tried to stop me. If anything, it's been the contrary. Anytime I said I wanted to do something else, they were like, well, are you sure you don't want to do more musically? And I'm really fortunate that way, The most interesting job I've ever had, I'd have to say, is probably being the nanny. It's just to be with babies from the time they're pretty much born. They're over 1 year old now, and to see them grow, it's really quite remarkable, they change so fast, and they have their own little personalities, and going for walks and changing diapers and hanging out and playing is actually fairly interesting, believe it or not. So I've enjoyed that, and I sold shoes for a year. And that was interesting because I was selling shoes to women. And that was probably one of the toughest jobs I've ever done. I'm not one for trying interesting foods. I'm actually stick to the safe stuff. And I absolutely love food. It's probably my most favorite thing of all. But I haven't really tried very many interesting things. I would say the weirdest thing I've ever eaten for me would be sushi, and I didn't like it. So that's one of those, I came to LA and everybody eats sushi but me. So sushi was the weirdest thing, and it's not that weird. Well, probably one of my most embarrassing moments on stage, actually was probably when I found out I was in the top 24. Previous, I broke down totally. I just had a very emotional moment. The camera was on me, and I was just crying uncontrollably and trying to bury my head in the wall. It was kind of embarrassing. And I've said some pretty goofy things on stage before that I'll watch back and I think, oh, Brooke, that was awkward. Why did you say that? Actually, almost every time I watch a performance that I did, I'm totally embarrassed by something that I said, or a goofy dance move or something. I don't like sandwiches. I don't like sandwiches at all, and I think I'm the only person in the world that doesn't like sandwiches, which means most of my life I've had a hard time deciding what I'm going to eat for lunch. Hi, I'm Brooke, and I am the next American Idol. Please vote for me.